You ever feel like your car's audio is almost there, but missing that deep thump that makes your playlist really hit? Yeah, that low-end punch is what makes everything feel alive. That's where 10-inch subwoofers come in. This video is all about the best 10-inch subwoofers. I've looked through a bunch of options and picked out the ones that make sense for different budgets. Some are great if you're trying to keep it affordable, and others bring more punch if you're ready to spend a bit more. You'll find links to everything down in the description if you want to check them out yourself. And if this helps you out, go ahead and tap like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Got questions or something you want to add? Drop it in the comments. I read them. Let's get right into the list. Rockford Fosgate P3D2, best 10-inch subwoofer for deep bass. This one's for folks who want big sound without going full-on crazy with the budget. It hits hard, no question about that. And what stood out to me most is how clean and tight the bass stays, even when things get loud. It doesn't feel messy or all over the place. It runs at 500 watts RMS, which gives it plenty of strength for everyday listening or even turning it up a bit more. The dual 2-ohm voice coils give you some flexibility with wiring, so it should be easy to work into most setups without any headaches. The build feels like it was made to last. The cone is anodized aluminum, and there's a thick rubber surround that helps keep everything in place when it's moving. I've seen people say it holds up really well over time, even with regular use. Now, if you're after super high sensitivity, this one's not breaking record. It sits around 82 dB, which just means you'll probably want an amp that pairs well with it to get the most out of it. But for what it costs, it's got punch, control, and quality packed into one pretty impressive 10-inch sub. It just works. Kicker 49L7TDF102, best runner-up 10-inch subwoofer for deep bass. This one's built for folks who want deep bass without giving up much space. It slides right under seats, which makes it great if you're working with a tighter setup. And yeah, don't let the low profile fool you. It still hits low and clean. It's pushing 500 watts RMS, so you're not short on power. The bass comes in strong, but it's got that smooth punch that makes tracks feel way fuller. The enclosure's sealed and downfiring, which really helps keep the bass controlled, especially if you've got stuff stacked in your trunk or under the seat. The sensitivity is just over 84 dB, so it doesn't need a crazy amount of power to sound good. But pairing it with the right amp definitely helps bring out the best in it. The build is tough. MDF all around, with a cone that's made to take some use without wearing down. Most people like how it sounds right out of the box. No rattles, no weird shakes, just clean lows. If there's any downside, it's that it's not quite as loud as some bigger box setups. But that's kind of the trade-off with space-saving gear. For a mid-range setup that's all about clean, deep bass, this one's a strong pick. Kicker CWCS104, best budget 10-inch subwoofer. If you're trying to keep the cost low but still want your system to hit, this one's a strong choice. It's got the basics covered without feeling like you're giving up too much. And for a budget pick, the bass comes through way better than you'd expect. It's rated for 250 watts RMS, so it won't shake the doors off, but it definitely adds that thump you want in your music. The sensitivity is close to 86 dB, which makes it easier to power without needing a huge amp. That's nice if you're just starting out or working with a smaller setup. The build has a stamped steel basket and a cone made from injection-molded polypropylene. Sounds fancy, but really, it's just built to keep things in place and stop the cone from flexing too much. That helps with clarity, especially at lower volumes. One thing to know, some folks have mentioned the build can be hit or miss. Most say it lasts, but a few had issues. Still, for the price, it's kind of what you'd expect. If you've got a tighter budget but still want your music to feel full and deep, this is one of the better picks out there that won't drain your wallet. Rel HT1003 Mark II, best 10-inch subwoofer for home theater. This one's definitely on the premium end, and you can kind of tell just by looking at it. The design feels fancy without being flashy, like the kind of sub you'd see in a clean home theater setup where everything has its place. It runs on a 300-watt Class D amp, so it's got plenty of strength for most living rooms or mid-sized spaces. The bass goes deep, down to around 24 Hz. But what really stands out is how tight and clear it sounds. Nothing boomy or sloppy, just clean hits that feel like they belong with the rest of your system. The sealed box helps with that, and the bracing inside keeps the cabinet from vibrating all over the place. The cone's made from this mix of glass fiber and carbon fiber, which keeps it light but stiff enough to stay controlled, even when you're pushing it. The back panel gives you a good set of options for hooking it up, and there's even a wireless kit if you don't want cables running all over. If I had to nitpick, it does need a little break in time to really open up, but once it does, it sounds way bigger than it looks. Definitely built for someone going for top-shelf sound. So that wraps it up. Whether you're working with a tight budget or building something with a bit more punch, there's a 10-inch sub out there that fits just right. If something caught your eye, all the links are down in the description. Go check those out. And while you're here, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Got any questions or suggestions? Drop them in the comments. If you want more stuff like this, take a look at our other videos. We've got plenty more on the way. Thanks for watching.